Welcome to this week's edition of Viewer Levels. A glitch. I am planning to go straight into the viewer queue since I'm starting a little bit late today. Do you have your clear check ready? If you don't have your clear check ready, that's fine. We can wait for a moment, and I don't know if it's this one that we're looking at, since it is a very fresh upload. I would assume that it is. Okay, great. So let me make sure this is properly registered in the bot. And thank you to both yourself and Supernova, or perhaps Nova SMM, since Warp World's maker database seems to have been reverted to some past state over the past week or two. Thank you both for the submissions right off the bat. Let's take a look at Tummy Trouble 2. As you said, Glitch, this is version 3 of the level I tested with many changes. And yeah, the last time I played it, I was quite exhausted and not very attentive, I think, so hopefully this will be a much better run. And it will feel like a brand new experience, I'm sure, as we fix him, you biomechanical nuclear lizard technician MD-TY Pillamore. And do let me know, as usual, if things are functioning alright on my end in terms of the video and audio production. And everything will hopefully hold up. So, we can go down. Yeah, let's check the top first. And nothing because of the ground block obstructing you, although I had to check, of course, given the airship camera bob obstructing me as always. Okay, exit door over here, locked off by the on-off switch for the time being, and no more dev doors yet. I do remember you had a lot of those temporary fixtures at the beginning, last time. So, okay, we'll be looking for... Well, let's just explore, actually. Looking for a way to activate the on-off switch, probably. Yes, no, eventually going down to the checkpoint with the Spiny Hat. And welcome everybody else who has come in. Mang, Atlantis, Dukaza. Glad to have you all here. Let's time this a little bit better. Yeah. I was, of course, tempted right away to jump up above the claw, and so I did run into the saw on the left side, because this platform is really tempting if you don't go up and check the camera first. The skewer, however, no excuse for that. Now we can check up here. It looks like we have an obstructed pipe. Let's go. And whoops. Have to get some of those early jumps out of my system, of course, as we get started. So you folks who are already in won't be too affected by this, but I am probably closing the queue earlier than usual today, since I can't stay too long. But hopefully that's not going to be an issue. I think I had checked this previously. Oh, whoops. Trying to slip out and change my mind at the last moment. Okay, let's actually play properly. For a change. Hang on. I know I'm just running into absolutely everything. It's kind of a rough start today, but let's maybe not do that then. Okay, over here. And hang on. I was planning to go straight down. I'm just pulling back on some of these jumps. Yeah, I mean, as usual, difficulty tuning is up to you, but I find that as the creator, you're well practiced enough that, you know, the difficulty tuning, I think, tends to be right if the creator can one-shot everything. Obviously not the case for every kind of genre, but I find it's a pretty good working principle. Okay, going down here. That's open, but that needs to give me a tool, doesn't it? Mushroom. Then we'll try not to lose the mushroom on my way up. I do need to escape with it intact in order to progress, I'm sure. P-switch. Yeah, very tempting to hit the P-switch twice. Oh, okay. Bit of a risk of getting squished here if you're on your way back up. And that would be unfortunate. Luckily, not too far from re-obtaining the mushroom down below. So now we have this. Can't go through here just yet, but I can hit the brick underneath. No, I can't. Because, oh, yes, I can. That's going to affect the seesaws. And that's also going to spawn a mushroom for further mushroomy purposes. Dropping the seesaw didn't seem to do much for me there. The cannon is still in the same position. I suppose we'll eventually need to break this with something else. Let's go down and continue exploring. Arvamp, welcome. Good to see you here. Fireflower gate over here with the ice block. Perhaps. Also, I realize I spawned in such a way that totally desynced everything here. That's okay, we'll pop this, and we'll go. And Mang, thank you for Bonsai Boost. Looking forward to seeing that soon enough. Okay. We'll explore down here. Slip my way down. Whoops. Hope I don't need a mushroom for anything. I do need a mushroom. So, in that case, I pretty much have to go all the way back up, don't I? And recover it. Luckily, we do know how to... Oh, there we go. There's a mushroom. Conveniently through the pipes, since you do have progress through this zone so far. Okay, I like that mushroom respawn placement. Actually, it does work well, because you still need to survive this whole challenge down here. And that is going to give me, of course... I was about to say, of course, the Fireflower, but nope, it's going to be the Spiny Hat, which will allow me to break hard blocks everywhere. Try not to lose it. And then we continue up here. Oh, that's only a 1-up. Okay, that's fine. Can't enter the blue pipe, so we'll go back through the door. And then I will try not to destroy all of the blocks that are in the middle, because we would need to stand on them. I do know, however, that Spiny Hat is able to get me up through some of this. Which is potentially important, even if we don't have the Fireflower just yet, which may or may not be necessary at this point. Unless, of course, ice is just completely about the Spiny Hat, but I can get a checkpoint at this point. Yeah, I just forgot. No point in breaking that, of course. It just gets you to Fireflower. Oh, whoops, lost a hat. Losing the hat now precludes me from getting the checkpoint, but that's okay, we can go back for it. Not too difficult to do so, especially now that we have a bit of an extra buffer from the power of fire. Yeah, I hope coming back through here with some of the blocks destroyed doesn't break anything when it comes to the Goombas. I don't think it should. Actually does allow you to progress back there pretty smoothly, and of course, having destroyed the other ice block in the other zone, we should be able to get the Fireflower quickly again as well. Yeah, not too much of a repetition to get that sorted out, and a fire flower will get me back over here. And then go up. And then I figure out how to proceed from here. We haven't really checked any of the bottom locations, have we? Nope. Okay, that's fine. We have access to a hat. Nope. Hang on. Getting caught up on the conveyor belt. But that's okay. We've got plenty of power-up progress that's preserved. One thing to keep in mind is that when you respawn from checkpoint, I guess the Spiny Hat is preserved, and yeah, the Spiny Hat would then get you up to the Fire Flower. So okay, that's how power-up progress is saved. Just a brief detour to get a flower. That does happen from you to you. Melkor Awaken, welcome, and thank you for something dark side. Okay, let's not do that. Let's make sure we keep our power-ups. Might even try just going down this side. I think it might be symmetrical. But we'll go down here and check. Yeah. I guess we lost the opportunity to break that. That's okay. Let's see if I actually need the Spiny Hat for anything down here. Oh, here? No. Ice blocks everywhere. Yeah, you only really need ice, I guess. But then that's going to spawn something, isn't it? Ah, Big Mushroom. Okay, great. Big Mushroom allows me to punch the on-off switch. So let's get back there and do that. And of course, I would... one issue with the Big Mushroom is that I would not have access to regain the Spiny Hat unless I take damage first. So do be aware of that. Also, the Big Mushroom would totally break the blocks that are on tracks, which is potentially an issue. And that's okay. We'll go back and grab this. Yeah, you'll want to check if it breaks anything to destroy all of this stuff. If it does, you would want to use question blocks with vines instead, probably, except, of course, vines would let you climb, but I don't think that's too much of an issue. Because I guess it would just break your path to the fire flowers, but if you break them on both sides, I don't know if that's actually recoverable. 19 seconds here. We're not going to clear it on this attempt, but we're going to see how things look when you respawn from checkpoint. Yeah, because to me, like, the first thing that I'm thinking about when it comes to the potential breaking of this level is just smashing all of the blocks on tracks. Because you probably do want them available at all times as a platform, so... And Zigzy, welcome. Thank you for Toad equals epic. We'll hopefully get to that before too long. We'll want to, of course, blow up the ice block over here for fire flower purposes once I get upstairs. Okay, here we are. You're telling me that if I get the Big Mushroom, breaking the blocks doesn't matter. Yeah, but you can break the blocks with a Spiny Hat, though, right? Or is that going to be too high? I think you can probably break all of them with the Spiny Hat, just given that you can jump out of the claw at any given time. You can definitely reach all of those. So if you break them all with a Spiny Hat, you can't actually reobtain the Fire Flower if you haven't already popped this ice block over here. So that's the concern that I see. I mean, the player would kind of need to go out of their way to break it on both sides, but it can happen, I think, if you're dealing with players who are exploring. Oh, also the checkpoint respawns you with the on-off switch already activated. That's kind of important, actually, because through the normal progression, in order to activate the on-off switch, I needed to use the Big Mushroom. So there's a bit of a difference here depending on whether you start from the beginning or start from a checkpoint. And yeah, Zigzy, we're back to viewer levels this weekend every week, so nothing too unusual about that. Although the schedule is slightly likely going to change going into November. Like, I'll still be doing viewer levels on a fairly regular basis, but unknown yet if I'll keep the usual time. Yeah, I guess you can't really keep the Spiny Hat given the way the conveyor is controlled over there. You don't really need it to get the Big Mushroom, of course, but once you get the Big Mushroom released, you can't actually reobtain the Spiny Hat, I don't think. Anyway, we need Big Mushroom. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the progression can be a little bit confusing if you have the on-off switch like this, because this is implying to me that in order to get back outside to the key door, I need this to be in the off state. But then if I needed this to be off, then I probably should not have ever hit this with Big Mushroom to begin with, right? Even though when I think about getting the Big Mushroom, the natural thing to do in terms of the player's progression is to hit the on-off switch immediately, because that's the major thing that the power-up actually lets you interact with. And so I think maybe the flow isn't totally intuitive there. Unless you have the on-off switch activated somehow. Well, one way to do it is just to do it on spawn. I'll have to think about that. Oh yeah, Big Mushroom can just punch through here, obviously. And then I need to drop the Icicle. And then we hit the on-off switch. Also, there are hard blocks that are on the left side that it didn't break. Hang on. Like I said, there are hard blocks on the left side I didn't break. And Oily Olive, welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Does this get you anything out of that pipe? Just one-ups, okay. And then, yeah, we can go back up with Big Mushroom, I'm sure, but Big Mushroom precludes you from getting the Spiny Hat at the same time. At least, it seems that way. Interestingly enough, you don't need the Big Mushroom in order to progress through here, but it does give you that at checkpoint right away, okay. Now, why wouldn't I just take damage then? Instead of keeping the Big Mushroom, if taking damage allows me to stay on top of the bricks just fine. Because it seems like losing the Big Mushroom is actually easier. Although you can get a single bounce here and there. Oh, I see. You need to hit enough POWs to unstack the Munchers and get Morton that way. Okay. Not totally clear to me. Like I said, maybe losing the Big Mushroom is more effective here. Especially with the screen boundary working the way it does. I may in fact try it that way. Like, I'll just take damage here. Oh, I'll lose the Spiny Hat too if I lose access to that. That's okay. This is going to be a lot more controllable. Okay. Yeah, I find that Big Mushroom is clearly such a liability here that there's no reason not to just lose it. And yeah, I know I'm free to do that, but I don't know if it's actually a very intuitive thing to do. Because I will say that it's the kind of thing where players will look at that, and even if you let them do it, it will feel like they're breaking the level, even if it is kind of an intended alternative. Like, you'll have a lot of players who feel very clever about thinking that they're breaking your level, even if they're not really doing so. And so that's a bit of a risk to keep in mind with this. Especially because it looks like the whole question block setup here is explicitly set up to kind of make playing with Big Mushroom very risky. You know, depending on how well you control the bounces coming out of that within this narrow space. I mean, you wouldn't want to enforce the Big Mushroom either, like you would need the player to have flexibility to take a few hits. But maybe, I guess, if you have some kind of bonus at the end that's only available to people who keep the big mushroom, that would make sense. Like, maybe that's the way to do it. Have a bonus for keeping the big mushroom. If there's no hard requirement. Yeah, you don't want to SD lock the player, and that's the correct decision. But since it's so much better to play without the big mushroom, maybe the best thing to do about it is to just, I don't know, lock a 1-up or some coin treasury behind it at the very end. Yeah, otherwise that looks fine. I mean, it's not really an SD lock if you just fall to your death right away, but yeah, no, you definitely should do what you're doing now and permit the player to beat the final fight with any power-up configuration. But right now, I think it is a bit of a concern that it is just so much easier without the big mushroom if you deliberately take damage. And I'm always wary of situations like that where deliberately taking damage is so much better than the alternative. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's still in development. I understand that. Hopefully that and other people playing it are a useful playtest when it comes to tuning it further. So let's mark that as a win. Thank you, everybody, for the submissions thus far. We'll hopefully get through everybody in a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, Glitch, I agree that you should see if other people are also playing the way I do, or if they run into the same problems, or if they run into something completely different, and understand it in a totally different way. It's valuable, I think, to have one version in front of multiple people. Supernova, let's take a look at your maker code. I know that you recently remade or re-uploaded a bit of an old classic of yours, so we'll probably do that. And indeed, this is Lair of the Red Death. Yeah, so I believe this is a remake of a level that Supernova had published quite a long time ago, over a year and a half ago, and I know because I have a video of myself playing it from like February or March 2020, I think, when I was still a fairly new streamer. Looking forward to seeing what you've done with this version. I know that you were kind of unhappy with the difficulty tuning of the original for various reasons, and now, of course, it's going to a much wider established audience. So, you thought the Lord of Lightning was the only dragon you'd fight in Mario? No, I didn't really think so, but we'll see if we can take this down anyway. First version of this was uploaded 19 months ago. Maybe I can't count. 20... Yeah, no, that's a year and a half. That makes sense, yeah. Early 2020, that makes sense. That lines up with when I was actually getting myself established as a Mario Maker streamer. And Glitch, thank you once again for coming by. Okay. But yeah, I remember that I played the original version of this long before I knew who Supernova was or ever met him within the community. That's going to be a shield. That's what's implied here, maybe. Or I just tapped a fish and I'll probably reflect this. And that will light up the bomb, and then that will do something for me. And of course, we can just keep reflecting this Podoboo for as long as I like. And then there's going to be a bit of a defensive phase over here. And then we'll just continue lighting the dragon in its mouth. And Ichigo, thank you for dropping by. Looking forward to Winter Run. And let's tap this. Okay, there we go. It's going to shut his mouth. And then we will proceed. through the pipe, and then the pipe is going to kind of create the illusion of being in the same space just by taking you to the subworld and getting into an auto-scroll as you get over the spine here. Yeah, don't know if anybody here was maybe a former World of Warcraft player and would know what I'm talking about if I refer to the Spine of Deathwing. A notoriously fussy raid boss in that game where their whole team has to be very coordinated about standing on one side of a dragon or another. Whoops, as you can see, the concept works a lot better in 2 dimensions with 1 player. Alright, up we go. And let's go forward. Everything's going to sync. Now, why was I running into trouble with that earlier? Oh, because I released its position. Yes, that's why. Why not? There's also a secret area. I totally missed it, didn't I? I totally missed it. Well, we finished this quickly enough that I don't mind looking at it again for the secret. We can't really take a death here. Well, apart from the usual way that you can just hit yourself with Link. But yeah, I don't mind going back over it a second time. I say that now, of course, and perhaps I will get sniped by Cheep Cheeps all day on a second attempt. Worked out pretty smoothly, apart from that 1 death. Let's redo this. And thank you for the GGs. We'll look for the secret. Okay. And that's going to light up. I don't know if I knew for a fact that Big Podoboo's blocked the arrow. I feel like that must have come up with a puzzle at some point, or you know, some kind of Link dungeon must have depended on Big Podoboo as a sword gate, or not a sword gate, but as an arrow gate. Anyway, everything's going to shut over here. Yeah, very dynamic fight, but also, given how many moving parts there are, fairly, whoops, approachable. Yeah, I don't remember if you had the huge column of P blocks obstructing the snout in the original, but I'll have to look at the old video to compare. I know it does look like you streamlined a bunch of things here, so... But I'm kind of subjectively noticing that I am not getting sniped very much by anything. Plenty of time to read everything that's going on, and of course you would have published this originally before the 3.0 patch introduced things like the Mecha Koopas, wouldn't you? And yeah, because I guess 19 months ago that would have been pre-Mecha Koopa, that original version. No way. Whoops. Okay, losing the helmet. I don't know if that affects my ability to get to a future secret exit. Oh. Losing the sword. I don't think I can regain it. I guess maybe the sword is telling me that I need to keep the sword, but we'll see. Yeah, Nugukaza, I don't know why replace is still not working. This is maybe the 3rd week in a row that a replace command is broken, and I still haven't seen what's going on in Warp World's End that has led it to break like that. They definitely changed something on the back end, but the thing is, the replace command was always kind of undocumented on Warp World side anyway, and not really configurable for me, so don't really know what to do with that. But Nugukaza, if you want to play a different level than, or put in a different code than what you submitted, because I thought you submitted Team P-Balloon's code, we'll handle that manually when you come up. Whoops. Oh, lost a helmet. Okay, we'll stop this. And yeah, there's going to be basically a series of switch activations. And a scroll break that gets you into auto-scroll over here. Oh! I don't actually know what crushed me up there. So yeah, Supernova, since we have cleared this once already, I'm not going to spend too long looking for a true ending, depending on state of the queue, but we'll definitely give it a fair go, just to see if I can do it. Yeah, it looks like I got crushed by the screen boundary because of the custom scroll kind of moving up and down on me, but because I am in the main world, and this is with custom scroll, I think. Working on both axes at once. Yeah, we'll just leave this Podoboo alive for the time being. Until, of course, it gets crushed by its own self. Oops. Okay. Lock this. Yeah, killing the Cheep Cheeps, of course, is very effective. Solves a whole bunch of problems. Electro Dude, welcome. It totally looks like that is accessible up top, doesn't it? But I find it unlikely that you would keep a secret exit all the way over here. Maybe it's something with keeping the Buzzy helmet all the way to the end of this section, but we'll have to see. Oops. There we go. Taking that guy out quickly. Okay. Not much going on down here. I don't see anything bombable that I can do, because there was something connected to a yellow pipe, wasn't it? Ah, it is bombable. Okay, yeah. Of course. I have to remember how scroll stop works with the half-screen build, of course, which this is. Build around. Yellow pipe is going to take me out. That's going to be true ending. Okay, got it. For anybody new here, order as usual is going to be between next and sub-next. But I think Nugukaza may have been next anyway, so... Okay, we'll punch in the replacement code. And thank you once again, Supernova, for sending that along. Alright, let's see what Nugukaza has as a flight test today. Squid Games. So there's going to be a demo playtest. Let's see how it goes. Okay, P-Balloon right away, as usual. And... okay. Those are reloadable at least. However... oh, I guess this is a reset door. I see. No, because if you hold position and you let the invisible blocks pass through you without boosting through, then you get to follow them up. So, that shows you how that works. Pretty clearly understandable right away. You just need to kind of get through here, let it drop through, and then boost. Oh. And it's Squid. Hence, the Squid Games. So yeah, you have to get into position quickly, get as far up on the screen as you can, but then let up on any kind of input until you pass through the barrier so you don't activate anything invisible. Also, the background gives you a hint for where to stand. Okay, so much for that obstacle. Yeah, conceptually really easy to understand, actually. Especially once you pay attention to the background art, because the background, what it does for you is it also gives you a vertical position in terms of a minimum that is safe, given the vertical auto-scroll. So it'll be interesting to see what else you would do with that, of course, as you develop it further. But in terms of the dark level visibility, it seems pretty good right now as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how easily people are understanding the training segment, but I think it's extremely clear. And we'll just have to see how challenging you make the P-Balloon flight segments from there, so. Dark isn't required. No, it's not, but it does mean that you kind of have to pay attention in advance when it comes to some of the positioning, especially with the readability of the semi-solids and red blocks in the background, so. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it works out. I think it works fine in Dark Theme. Again, I don't know whether that will be compatible with later obstacles and patterns that you add to that. So let's move on. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what you manage to spin out of that. And yeah, the vertical tracks being hidden does make everything look much cleaner, and that is a point in favor of doing it into Dark Theme. Because I think readability is key. Imagine that, Dark Theme actually making something more readable. Okay, Meng. Bonsai Boost. This is from 2019. One of the many early levels on which Luca has scooped up all the records. And an early example, too, of Meng using bonsai bills. So, let's see it. For those who missed it, we had a bit of a Meng fest on the stream yesterday, catching up on many of the recent levels. Yeah, I'll just check around here anyway. There's nothing. It is going to be half tile, or half screen rather, build on the main world, so. In case that becomes relevant. This is going to be just a straight up vertical ascent, though. Yes, I have seen this concept. I feel like it's one that you probably remade in some fashion, wasn't it? Because I recognize this concept immediately. Because you take a damage boost and then you go up the stack while you have invincibility frames. Have to go straight up, of course. Right, because of Bonsai Reboost. Yeah, I didn't know that that level was, despite its name, a sort of sequel to this concept. Okay. Yeah, I have to go up with a full jump right away. And, oh, and then I have to go down and hit the Fire Flower immediately, I think. And gain height from there, so. And yeah, Nugukaza, thank you for resubmitting 10 coins in Ninja, which we had so much trouble with the previous week. Okay, we'll hit this. Grab this. Nope. Should have seen this corner here. Whoops. This probably was salvageable, except you would lose access to the next bonsai. No, you actually do need to boost. So yeah, I was just a little late on that. The higher you go, the faster you go, in fact, the better positioned you will be. And yeah, Olive, perfectly happy to do a playtest there, of course. And yeah, October 2019, back when Mang was still SD locking me all over the place. Apparently. There we go. This is a bit of a timing check. I went a little bit too late, as you can see. But that's a quick fix. Just need to understand that going as fast as possible is usually going to be optimal. Let's not miss the mushroom. Yeah, the question block is mostly there to make sure you stay in place, I guess, so the mushroom will definitely be obtained. Nope, missed the first jump. So yeah, I just need to clean up a few specific jumps here. Grab the mushroom. Here we go. And that gets me upstairs. So once again, yeah, I guess I need to get to the right there quickly and get on top of that bonsai as soon as I can. And you are our favorite guy, haha. Thank you for submitting a very suspicious sounding level. We'll hopefully get to it soon enough. Yeah, timing is basically going to reset over here. There we go. Checkpoint. And flower. Nothing accessible up there, I don't think. Wait, hang on. Get out. Now, the vertical ascent is done, so we'll see if there's anything else going on here. Yes, there is. Okay, yeah, no, I just need to go a little bit faster so I can get over that bullet before the invincibility frames expire. I wasn't quite sure about that, but now that I've seen it once, I do understand it. No, I need a full jump there, not a spin jump. Yeah, imagine that as Z marker. That I actually obeyed for a change. I mean, you can see what the spin is used for right on the first screen, of course, with the spike top. Oops. And yeah, Electro Dude, unfortunately, that pun doesn't quite work in a Z country. Didn't Z that one coming. Whoops. Yeah, still losing too much time there for some reason. It's probably something with my movement just spawning that last bonsai too soon, perhaps. Scrolling too far to the right during some of the falls, maybe? I think I'm just too slow. But I may be also a little too far to the right. In the segment immediately before that. I'm just trying to see how I can clean up my movement here. Make this go a bit smoother. Yeah, because you can see I'm just kind of hugging that really tall column on the right side as I'm going over. Don't really have too much of a choice there, though. That was closer to the timing that I need, though. So we're making progress bit by bit. Yeah, taking the middle position there instead of hugging the right column actually does work out pretty well then. And yeah, I knew going into that fall that the positioning was likely to be a little bit off. But that seems to be the fix, is just going up that 2 bonsai column right here, kind of in the middle, rather than right on the end. Maybe that's not the fix, I don't know. Or maybe I just need to fall a bit faster into that, but... yeah, just work on my falling speed instead. Not bounce so high. You don't actually need to bounce all the way up then. Yeah, there we go. Just letting up a bit instead of doing a full spin jump up there. Okay, mushroom. Nope. Needed to be a little quicker about that and then get on top of the last 2 bonsais. Oddly enough, it looks like you probably could keep the mushroom there if you were really careful. But we'll see if that's actually going to be required for anything. Okay, fast fall. Yeah, hard to see on the first blind run there that you should be falling that quickly, of course, but it works. It works well enough. Okay, no, you can't just keep that. But you do need to keep going over here with full momentum and get through that bonsai the usual way. And Melkor Awaken, yeah, we will be running viewer levels again tomorrow if you can't stay today, so thank you for coming by anyway, even if you can't stay. Nope. Try to fix that up. There we are. Nope, didn't want to do that. Took damage far too early. Okay, up we go. That was almost a bad attempt, but in the end it worked out. Was I took damage too early there again. There's something I'm not quite doing right there. Probably I needed to hold into a high bounce into everything along that horizontal series of 2 bonsai stacks. While as you hear, plenty of things are bopping. Right now we're bopping the bonsais. Whoops. Okay, or maybe not. Not very consistently. Whoops. Looking at this now, there seems to be a lot of places where you can go over the level. Yeah, if you're building with the half screen, as you did there. Yeah, so for example, if I took the higher bonsai and I went left there, then I... no, because it's ground tiles, I would not. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the half-screen scroll lock rules here, and what could potentially be broken, but... once again, I have to cut that top corner a little bit on my way down. Okay, quick. And there we are. Yeah, okay, no, that's the issue. I'm taking damage here, and I shouldn't be. But if I do full jumps and just hit my head on the ceiling over that series of spikes, then I should be able to get over to Bonsai's quickly enough to preserve the mushroom. And yeah, Oily Olive, I mean, that's what playtesting is for. Just to see if we can refine anything you're uncertain about. Okay. No, I need to keep that. Forgot that I still need to go forward there. And yeah, when we see your level, we'll see. I mean, I'm not really a precision player either, so... If you want a perspective from somebody who's not really a precision player, then... you'll definitely get one here. Okay, here we are. And that's the goal, unless there's anything else to look at. Oh, that's it. And Dirk Bach, the artist formerly known as Mr. Influential until you lost all your influence. Evening. You as well. I don't know why your handle was totally escaping me last stream. But it occurred to me like pretty much right after I logged off. Anyway, thank you for that, man. You don't need to waste time playtesting, says Quality Humor, if you only upload title screen levels. As I was telling somebody yesterday, it took me a long time to even recognize the title screen levels, since for the first couple months of the game, it wasn't like I was exiting and getting back into Mario Maker very often, instead of just having it permanently suspended in the background. Okay. It would be closer to your Mario Maker in-game name, I see. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people make that modification as well recently. Let me check what's going on with the list currently, because... since Nugukaza is the next sub but has already been played, we'll just go down next for the time being. Just to keep things at an efficient clip. So Zigzy, if you are still here, I believe you will be next. Zigzy, please check in. And yeah, you're in. So, let's take a look. Okay, below the boss fight levels. Let's take a look. Sorry, remind me which title you're looking for. Would it be something like... I mean, Mysterious Ghost House is listed as a boss battle. Yeah, let me know what you want to see, Zigzy. Probably something platforming, but... your choice. Yeah, I've got quite a big list that I can look at. So, Quality Humor is totally alright, as long as you're able to check in when I finally do get to you, which may be in a while anyway. I completely expect that people in queue will go AFK from time to time, or hop between streams or anything. That's why I never pick random. Anything including the refreshing level or below, or Super World, yeah. We'll see. We have a bit of a lengthy queue today, so we'll see. Let's take a look at that. Where was the refreshing level? We'll do something below that. No sound effects, interesting. With a 70-second speed run. Curious. Yeah, not gonna do a tight timer thing, I think. We'll do something else. We'll take a look at... Oh, let's take a look at a refreshing level. Maybe it's unorthodox. We'll see what it's all about. Anything with a refreshing concept, of course, is going to be a bit of a stress test for the bitrate on my stream, so we'll see what makes this concept differ. And it's going to do the usual thing, does the POW... Oh, okay, no, it's just snake blocks there, so... Doesn't look like anything's going to go on. I should remember that I am on a timer. However, there was a 30-second record on this, so... And here's some art. And here's the bitrate test. Okay. Yeah, for something refreshing, there's actually a relatively decent amount of interaction still there. Even if it is tuned for a bit of an easier crowd. Like, it's not, you know, just a butt stomp and you're out of there, so... thank you for that. Kind of a quick thing to get through. We'll pick something longer next time, perhaps. Okay, Oily Olive, let's take a look. Yeah, anybody who's here, feel free to resubmit. Ah, yes, I recall this one. Kind of. I don't remember how far I got, but we'll get back into Copter Hailstorm. So, yeah, I remember I had trouble with some of this early on, but let's see how it goes. If you would rather see a new level, I'm fine with switching as well. But I don't mind trying to do this one again. Okay, no. We need to snowball this guy. And we need to snowball it by getting here and whacking this, although whacking with propeller seems to be the intended way. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what this was all about. Hang on. I'll try to hit it approximately where the arrow is pointing. Not quite. There we are. And Ninja, welcome. Nope, total miss. It's okay, we'll just redo this. No, wall jump and then Goomba and then... Well, we need to miss the Goomba hats because the Goomba hats are a failing condition. Remember what the wall jumps are for. We'll try to preserve a couple more propeller hits. Yeah, I remember I had a lot of fun with this one to the extent that I was actually able to get through it. But also that I didn't get terribly far. And then... No, I need to basically cut through with one single boost, I believe. And then probably just wall jump up. Yeah, I need to preserve boosts. Hang on here. Now, if I do hit the on-off switch, though, I can't wall jump off the end. So I do perhaps need a second boost. Whoops. Yeah, it looks like a second boost is required there. It's going to come back to me. Yeah, and then you wall jump. Oh, and then, no, the icicle doesn't drop. The icicle over here, though, falls on the brick. That's what you're talking about with the icicle above the brick block. Yes, that's right. I vaguely remember you warning about that last time as well, so I did get that far at least. Okay. Wall jump over. One more boost, and then I just came in too low to get the wall jump. So yeah, last boost was a little bit too low. We can probably get back there without too much trouble, I hope. Nope. Didn't mean to hit that, obviously. Yeah, get on top of the brick and then straight back down after you reset onto brick. Nope. A little late hitting the button. That's going smoothly at least. After those early attempts. I don't miss that. Yeah, so you need to hit that once and then you will kill the skip squeak with the snowball and then you do a second boost at the P marker. Yeah, that was just a bit of an inaccuracy on my part, so... Nope, not quite. Yeah, I saw the down diagonal arrow pointing away from the brick block and thought that was a pretty clear implication that walking off should be fine. Especially if I don't want to tug the camera up. Maybe I should be tugging the camera up, though, but we'll see. I know. Now that's interesting, because that's going to be 2 boosts there, and it doesn't look like I have anywhere to reset before I have to get on the 3rd one, so... I may have to rethink that part too. Seems like a lot of people jump instead of walking. Yeah, if they aren't sure about what is coming next, that is instinctively what they would do, I think. I mean, I think it's a good idea that you've accommodated it both ways. Because you will definitely see both. Whoops. Alright, let's do this. And yeah, no, it's alright. I don't really need assistance. I don't mind figuring things out as I go. Unless something is truly, truly unclear. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to go over directly here because, no, we've got... Oh no, I need to get that snowball down first so I can hit it. I'm getting over there too early, but we'll see. Yeah, with all of those arrows pointing everywhere, I did need to kind of figure out the order on the fly. Nope, total miss over there, but yeah. Oh, it's the icicle drop, I see. Because the icicle drop allows me to get something I can reset on. Yep, that's what I didn't understand about the top diagonal arrow, was that it is meant to get you into position to activate the icicle on the way back down. I now vaguely remember having trouble with that last time too, but It's been long enough that I am relearning this, and that's okay. Nope, miss. Luckily, plenty of opportunity to salvage some of this as we go. Nope. Let's try it again. It's well synchronized with when you first get into this segment from the pipe. But once I miss, it's tricky to get the timing to work. That's okay, we got it. At least it's easy to retry it. Oh, whoops, as you were saying about jumping. It wasn't totally intended. Yeah, because Icicle goes down, and then that way you can stall for a bit until the snowball comes down for the next hit. Okay, let's do that. Nope. That's okay, getting closer. Nope. Let's redo it. Hitting the whole thing too high. And yeah, I don't want to double hit it like that. I want to just let it go down naturally. But in a slightly higher position than that. There we go. Yeah, we're just going too aggressively to the right. Whoops. Too high. And now that's just a matter of positioning the wall jump. Yay, there we are. And Aaron, welcome to the stream. Welcome back, I should say. We'll hopefully get to your submission soon. Oops. Hang on. There we go. Much better position that time. Now, if I do an additional boost like that, then I can get on top of the icicle. I just didn't approach it in time. Yeah. But yeah, I can do a third boost to drop the icicle, and I should have time to get on top of the icicle after that. And yeah, Aaron, I am going to be probably back with fewer levels at the same time tomorrow. If you are not able to wait today. So thanks for coming by regardless. I know, trying to get on top of the icicle with a ground stomp there, using the third boost, and that was just a little bit slow. And yeah, all of it's always nice to just think about things you would do differently in future levels. I think that still makes a lot of feedback useful, even if you have finalized the current version already. Yeah, that's the thing that I hope is clear for people whose levels I comment on, that, you know, doesn't mean you need to make changes now. It can always just be something to keep in mind for future purposes, depending on what works and what doesn't. Okay. Let's get over here. One boost here should actually get me over to the icicle just fine. Okay, that was just a bit of a timing issue. Yeah, because I clearly do need to hit the snowball on the first try in order to preserve enough boosts after the switch activation that comes from that. I do see what needs to be done. Yeah, Oily Olive, I think the queue was just sort of unusually quick for you. It usually doesn't take... Well, I mean, I usually take much longer per level, but it was fortunate in that a few of those were very short concept tests that I got through in minutes. Kind of unusual for me, given that, you know, I think the average wait here is sometimes 20 to 30 minutes per level, depending on difficulty. And, D8, thank you for your submission. A volcano escape. Okay. Nope. That was wrong. But yeah, drop the icicle, get down on the icicle, and then I really do need to watch the snowball in order to time the next boost after that. So... yeah, pretty understandable once you see everything, though. I just haven't found a good method for that yet. Nope, too low. Slightly too low. Needed to nudge it a little further to the left as well, I think. We'll see. Yeah, it's kind of tricky even if you are watching a conveyor belt, just given that the drop timing on the icicle is going to depend on the player positioning. And so because the icicle drop introduces a bit of variance for your takeoff location relative to the timing of the snowball drop, that can affect how well that snowball drop and kick is going to go as it comes out of the clear pipe. Okay, that's a wall jump, and then, that's Skip Squeak, I wonder. Because wall jump will activate the Skip Squeak, I think I remember having trouble with that before, too. In that, you need to do everything pretty quickly to activate the Skip Squeak, and then wall jump over it while it's still on cooldown. So I'll have to go back to that and see what to do about that, because clearly I need something to activate the Skip Squeak ahead of time. And the propeller, as you can see, does not activate the Skip Squeak. It's going to come off of the first jump. So yeah, I'll have to rethink the Skip Squeak, because I do need a boost to get over to the on-off switch that's in that single tile just past the spiny or spiky Skip Squeak. So I have to think about that and redo it. Probably. Whoops. Yeah. Falling is easier, I think, in spite of the fact that it undershoots the coin trail a little bit. I think one of the reasons why people might be jumping there is because falling does go under the arrow and coin diagonal, while jumping goes over. So. Still fairly clear what to do, it's just that if you dash off right away, your positioning is going to be off the markers a little bit, and that's okay. If you still trust your own positioning, you can still get the next hit down just fine. Nope, too low. Or rather, too tight around a corner. Yeah, maybe I need to think about that skip squeak in terms of... Well, I need 2 jumps, but if the 2 wall jump locations are spikes of a different on-off state, I don't think I can necessarily do that. I'll need to go back and look at that once I successfully get past their pipe again. Oh, you might just have to go fast, okay. Yeah, because the wall jump activating the skip squeak does make it kind of look like doing a single wall jump there is just wrong. But I also couldn't see an alternative, so... Nope. Just a little bit slow getting on the icicle. That's okay, I'll get back there and I'll just pay attention to it. I'm on my Super Nintendo controller right now, which doesn't have the capture button. I do play with the Pro Controller and use the capture button when I play things like escape rooms, where I do need to log a lot of visual clues, but otherwise I don't mind just going back there and looking at it. Okay. Nope, too low. After the skip squeak is the last reset, which is kind of tricky. Okay, we'll see about that. Yeah, we got through some of the earlier levels so quickly that I don't mind taking a little bit longer on this one today. Since we haven't been roadblocked by too many difficult levels today. Nope. I think I just need to wall jump higher. Maybe I'm just going too low on a wall jump. But the skip squeak goes pretty high there, so that location, I don't know. Whoops. And Ichigo, yeah, you will be in the next position. Thanks for dropping by. Nice to see you on the stream. If you are who I think you are, we've actually played a lot of your levels on the stream in the past. You think the boost saves you from the skip squeak? Yeah. Maybe I'm just not supposed to wall jump there at all, and the skip squeak is supposed to tell you that, but I'm trying to count my boosts there as well because I'm using the second boost in that low position. And I need the third one to hit the on-off switch if I'm not mistaken. Although, no, maybe a third boost gets me immediately up to the on-off switch, and then that's not so much of an issue. But the diagonal arrow seems to indicate to me that I should be thinking in terms of a wall jump, so... Yeah, because I would have expended 2 boosts already at that point. Whoops. And yeah, I'll see if I can figure it out. I sort of remember that being as far as I could get last time as well. But I don't quite recall. Nope, just released too early. Yeah, because I'm spinning down to the icicle. Now, here's an important thing to know, is that if you spin down, there's no lag time on the ground pound like there sometimes is, so... I shouldn't be canceling out of the ground pound so early, which is part of the issue I'm running into there. With getting on top of the icicle. That I'm just sort of instinctively canceling. And there's no need to do that. I can just stomp the icicle and get off right away. They're saying boost near the skip squeak. Yeah, I would need a shorter period of time between the boost and the wall jump, perhaps, but I'll have to go back and see that. But it kind of felt like I'd used my allotment of boosts already, because let me just check one thing here. Yeah. Don't know how else I should be conserving my shots there. Whoops. Yeah, let's just let this come down. Whoops, not quite. Anyway, we'll see if we can make it happen. Okay, let's go down. Go for the icicle once again. Oh, no. Yeah, yet again, just hit the corner much too close. Yeah, I do have a bit of a habit of wanting to cancel out of the stomp. And it is getting me into a bit of trouble with the icicle segment. And it's an easy fix, but muscle memory does get in the way a bit. Whoops. Let's hit that. And Retrobert, unless it's Robert. Welcome. Let's see how much further we can go. Okay. Yeah, most of this stuff at least is pretty understandable at this point. Okay, I can see that that would have made it if I had just boosted slightly later so I didn't hit the spike. That actually would have done the trick just fine. It's just that I missed the on-off, and it is a bit of a difficult target. Because you have a bit of forward momentum going into that, and only a one-tile space that you can hit without taking damage. Like, you can't really hit the on-off off-center. So we'll see if I can hit that target accurately, while also managing to get over to Skip Squeak with the timing that we just saw. Now that's feeling a lot more doable now. There we go. Nope, that's just miss. So yeah, the trick is to boost as high as possible to get into the wall jump. Yeah, it's not necessarily a matter of the Skip Squeak being clear. I think what the issue is partly that... Whoops. It is tricky to have a good intuition for when the Skip Squeak is going to activate. Because even if you know the rules, that Skip Squeak does not respond to propeller, but does respond to wall jump. When you're in the middle of playing the level, it can be difficult to keep that in mind. And that's just an inherent bit of difficulty in playing against a Skip Squeak. Just to keep all that in mind, because you kind of have to know the rule by memory in a way and from experience. Okay, Twister there will give me a reset. But then I need to think about what the next boost is going to be. There is a P marker there under the icicles, of course, but I haven't been able to look ahead yet. Of course, I don't want to be projected too far up by the Twister when I'm heading into the icicles on the other side, so... New record, though. Haven't been that far before. Nope. And so hopefully we can get through the Skip Squeak consistently enough that I can actually learn the last segment. Now, as I said, I don't intend to run an extremely long stream today, so queue will likely close at the end of this level, so people who want to submit, do keep that in mind. That it will be last call fairly soon. Usually I close at around the 2-hour mark for the stream, but today I do have to run shorter. Otherwise we'll be here for a long, long while. Whoops. Okay, let's do this one here. Okay, quickly. Nope. Not quite right. Yeah, the Skip Squeak is going to enforce a pretty tight spacing. So we'll go back and we'll just try to do that. Whoops. Let's just wait out one cycle so we can see the appropriate timing. Nope. Let's wait for the next one here. Down we go. And nope, too high. Okay, we'll do this. Whoops, got the boost there, I just fell off the Twister on the way down. I do want the Twister to give me the reset. I don't know if that's immediate, like when you make contact with a Twister, whether the reset happens right away. I mean, you'd be able to tell visually by the lights on the propeller, but I wasn't really able to watch that in time. Whoops. Because I feel like I'm supposed to get the reset from the Twister and fall off immediately. So I can get down to the next boost location without the Twister getting in too close. Nope, too high. Yeah, it should reset right away. That's what I was thinking. But it's one of those where falling into a Twister with the propeller is an interaction that happens rarely enough that you do kind of need to relearn it as you go. just because, you know, people won't coming into that with a great deal of familiarity. This feels like it's too low, but oh no, we got it. Oh no. Okay. So the P gives you one boost, but you probably don't want to boost right there, and you want to boost there and fall below the icicles, and then you have 2 additional locations after that between each icicle stack. So if I go directly upwards on the first P and then kind of slide down to the next 2 boosts, then hopefully we have enough to get through all that. Current thing is that I don't know if I need to get through that whole icicle segment with only 2 boosts or if I can use 3. And so that's something we'll have to find out from experience as well, since currently the camera is not going to show me enough of the level to clarify that until I get off the twister in the first place. I'll go back there and we'll see that soon enough. Okay, that's working out much better at least. Yeah, because let's see, you fall down here like that. 2 boosts, so nope. Wall jump up. Yeah, actually that would have made it if I wall jumped there, as long as I don't need to keep the propeller afterwards. Quality humor, hopefully the elixir didn't cost you too much at the neighborhood filling station or wherever else they sell elixirs these days. At the apothecary. So yeah, we'll see. At least I know what the ending of the Twister segment looks like now. I do need to not just get into every slot past the icicles. I can also go a little bit lower than where the P is marked. You can actually go a few tiles off screen, I think, before you get back up with the propeller. Not that I'm going to be too risky about that, but at least we know that there's actually a fair margin of error. Now that I know how everything looks. A little bit difficult to understand that blind, perhaps, when you haven't seen that for the first time, but now we know what our budget is like. In terms of boosts. So yeah, getting there. Whoops. Nudge that. Nope. Yeah, I do need to let the twister fall down a little further before I do something like that. The icicles do constrain a bit of space there. You can tell that I'm spinning a little bit late because not only am I grabbing the Goomba hat, I am spinning to my death once it has been obtained. Okay, up we go. Nope. Needed to hang right on that right away. And yeah, I already used 2. That was surprising because I thought I did make contact with the twister. But oh no, I sort of had a 1 accidental boost immediately after leaving the twister. That was the issue. So I was short by 1. Yeah, I just didn't react to getting into twister very well. And overspent the boosts. Hang on. Let's go back. Yeah, I may have double tapped. That's just a result of a bit of a panic move. Yeah, because my budget was lower by 1 than I expected. And Pwn25, welcome. Okay, we're getting reasonably close to finishing, though. I feel like it can be done. Just with a few minor adjustments at the end. Now, how did I not get refreshed there? I was trying to boost there, but I think the twister fell off before I actually made contact. And Pwn25, thank you for the submission. You will probably be the last one in queue today. Not because I'm planning to close soon, but I do, whenever possible, play through the whole queue after closing, so... Might be a bit of a wait, but we'll hopefully get to you before you have to leave. Okay. Yeah, I didn't make contact with a twister, that's it. Saving the best for last? Oh, perhaps so. Certainly hope so. Yeah. Nope. That was actually a wall jump that was too high, which is unusual. Not the problem we tend to run into. But in this case, that sniped me, so... I have to be fairly exact about that wall jump to get over to Skip Squeak, but also not hit the spikes. Nope. Yeah, yours is a precision level, so a good thing that's not last. Yeah, looking forward to that anyway. I mean, like I said, I'm probably time constrained by enough today that I won't necessarily be spending too long on things that I have a lot of trouble with. I mean, I'm spending a fair bit of time on this one, but it's the first hard level that we've received today, so don't mind that too much. And we're close to the end, so I do want to close this out if I'm able. I will probably not spend as much time on later submissions today, though. Like, this will be probably the last one that I spend upwards of half an hour on. But I do want to clear it, so... Whoops, too high. And we're getting close. I know what the ending looks like. I know what I need to do to adjust around it. Currently, the issue is making contact with the twister and living to tell the tale. Nope, too high. Trump jump consistency level? Oh, I don't know if I can do that, but... We'll see. I mean, you say it's a pretty kind one, so... We'll know when we see it. Because from the description, that sounds exactly like the kind of thing that I don't breeze through. But of course, we won't prejudge that without having seen it. Hey, down we go. Nope. Missed. I thought I was getting up there a little bit early and wanted to tap the snowball from the side, but it didn't really delay that very well. Oh, there is a clear condition on this. Reach the goal while wearing the propeller box, so we can't actually take damage at the finish. I only just realized that. Because before the pipe entrance at the end, there are icicles that get in your way if you try to wall jump up into an pipe entrance, I think. Hence the boost marker at the very end. So that does complicate things slightly for the ending. Whoops. There we go. I make contact? Nope. I was trying to drop into it, and that was too aggressive a drop. I needed to cancel out. Yeah, the twister drop is a little bit difficult to see in terms of judging whether or not I'm making contact. It is possible to get in the pipe without a propeller. Okay, so you get a propeller at the end then, if you still meet the clear condition? Because the clear condition is what worries me about that right now. Nope, too early. And there we are. Okay, through we go. Nope, too high. Alright, let's punch this. And continue. Yeah, most of the early stuff is going well, at least. This corner occasionally gets me into some issues, but... Nope, too late. So yeah. The more consistently I can sort out the clear pipe, the more we'll get a good attempt at twister at the end. But currently, just judging whether I am making contact with the twister or not is still the major trouble spot. Whoops. And we'll see if we can fix it up. Okay. Twister? Nope, didn't make contact. Yeah, I think the twister idea does suffer a little bit from a lack of clarity. And that's partly just how twisters behave. It's more that it's going along a diagonal on the way down, with the way it's falling. And it's low enough that it is difficult to see whether contact with the twister is going to happen. You haven't read Don Quixote, it is fantastic. If you are reading in English, there are a lot of translations you can choose from, because it's been translated many times over since the 17th century. There's a translation from the early 2000s that's actually fairly well regarded. I originally read it in an 18th century translation, I think, which was old enough that there were footnotes on the footnotes. Like the original translation had footnotes, and the modern edition of that translation had footnotes about the translation, since enough time had elapsed. The thing about Don Quixote is that it is known for having a a lot of humor, like puns that only work in Spanish and so on. And so the various English translators attack that problem in many ways, but usually have to add some notes to explain what the original joke was. Whoops, no. And yeah, so Oily Olive, I may not stay on this for too much longer since we have a long queue. But I'll definitely jot down a code in case we can do a catch-up stream to dedicate to this. Or, of course, you can always resubmit it another time and we can continue grinding at it while it's still fairly fresh in memory. Like I said, it will be back tomorrow as well. At least I plan to. And I know I don't want to bail on it when I'm so close, but... Okay. That actually worked out for once. Oh, no. Really? So you actually do have to wall jump. Or you can't get in that location. Okay. That was not clear to me, that the wall jump is required. Because I see the P, and it looks very much like that's third boost. That's how I was reading it. Because, you know, you can do a third boost, or you can wall jump up there, and I thought I did have a choice. You were waiting for me to fall for that? Well, I'm glad the waiting has paid off. Serves me right for prematurely liking this last time before finishing it. Okay. Well, now we know. Yeah, because the propeller box clear condition does strongly discourage the player from trying to wall jump there and likely taking damage off the icicle. So... I'll see if I can do it. I probably won't put too many attempts on this if we have more trouble with the twister, though. Because it seems like we've hit a major landmark in our progress here. Okay, there we go. Okay, Twister got me there. Whoops, didn't manage to boost. Okay, we'll have to continue this another time, I think. We're close. But there's enough that we need to do to get back to the end and sort of rethink the ending without hitting the block there, that I would like to try at a different time. But thank you for that. And we'll hunt for clear number 6 on this next time. So, yeah, getting the wall jump and not triggering the block is the difficult part, I see. Yeah, because I was worried about the icicle in the top corner, but of course, when you're small and you have the propeller hat, you're not actually substantially taller, so... I feel like we can get this eventually, just probably not today. So, thank you once again. We'll mark that as a loss for now, and I will also, at this point, be closing the queue as soon as I have put in the next code. So next, thank you for the patience, by the way, of everybody who has remained in the queue after all this time. I know I took a while on that one. So Ichigo, please check in. You are here, and then we will put in the next level and close up from that point. I do see Ichigo in the chat. So my usual policy for people who seem to be AFK is I'll just bump them back one spot if they don't check in. Give them a second chance, in case people have just stepped out temporarily. And that may be the case here. Ending control is only there to make the last part difficult. Okay. Okay, thank you for checking in. Let's punch this in. Close the queue. I don't think the last 3 boosts would be trivial. I think it's still something that you need to understand when it comes to conserving boosts after the Twister. Because it's very tempting to boost one too many times to get through the Icicle and Twister segment. Winter run 50 seconds. Winter is coming soon, and this is a very new level, still with no clears on it. So we'll see how this goes. Let's close up at this point. Like I said, I will not be spending as long per level as I did with the last one just now. Or at least I don't intend to, because I can't stay extra long today. But I will, first of all, make sure my title reflects that the queue is closed, and then I will play through everybody who is still here if I can. But yeah, Oily Olive, it's definitely a level I may return to even outside of fewer levels, just to see if we can snag that clear. What is my favorite piece of non-English literature? I will have to think about that. Let me think about this. Think about the level, rather. It's going to get me through right away. I have to probably... Well, it's a speed run, so yeah, spin my way through, and then what are those 2 jumps about? Oh, a triple jump. Okay, triple jump with the ceiling. And Electrodude, have a good game. Yeah, it's going to be 2 jumps over here to get through the triple jump and the 1-up heart, which actually makes things a little difficult to see. Okay, you activate the thwomp there, and then you reverse right away after. Whatever's going on there. Yeah, quality humor, I'll have to think about that. Obviously, Don Quixote is way up there when it comes to literature outside the English language, but I can probably think of much more recent examples as well. Say, within living memory, authors who are still alive, I'm a pretty big fan of Haruki Murakami. And... Oh, Ichigo, sorry about the timeout, if that was supposed to be a clear video. But that's okay. Do ask me to permit you if you want to send links. No, I think I can figure this out on my own. We'll spin jump over here. We'll do a triple jump. Yeah, my bot is pretty aggressive about blocking links, so... Oily Olive. It is night where I am. Oh, also remember that if anybody here is based in Europe, that you will have a time change tomorrow, and North America does not get a time change rather until next week. So that's going to affect your perception of my streaming schedule. Point 25, I am going to fix the game audio fairly quickly. Sometimes it can start cutting out at certain points in a stream, so I'll fix that in just a moment. Thanks for alerting me to that. It does happen some of the time, but hopefully not too often. Yeah, the audio issue is not nearly as bad as it used to be, but it does still occur. Okay, audio should be back. So I'm going to spin jump over this. I'll need to triple jump over the next obstacle. And then reverse, except... Oh, I see what's going on there. It's the ice that I'm not compensating for properly. Which is why I'm hitting the spike after the thwomp. I am trying to pull left there, but I'm having trouble with it because the ice is not quite cooperating in a way I would like when I reverse. So I need to jump over that, and then it's going to be a twirl, and then fall down towards the question block. Yeah, Quality Humor, the clock thing is tomorrow for people in either Central European summertime or British summertime, I think. Because Europe and North America have been out of sync for the past few years when it comes to that. Oily Olive, thank you once again for submitting earlier, and we'll see you again. Okay. Okay, holding that jump a little too high. It's a bit of a difficult spot there. So I'll see if I can actually do that accurately. Because it's not quite a full jump. A full jump, as you can see, does die to that. And then there are a whole bunch of diagonal track markers, and I don't know what those are for. Because I probably don't play enough NSMBU to really be reading tons of tracks on the fly. Nope. Yeah, it's the drag on the ice that I'm still not compensating for in that location. Yeah, so we'll see if we can progress a little further. Like I said at the start, no clears on this one, so... Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a ground stomp through the dry bones here in the middle left, and then the ensuing slide should be enough to get you through the icicles, I hope. It is a big dry bones, though, so we'll see what happens with that. Maybe a double twirl there is going to be fine. I don't think anything else there is time sensitive. Whoops. Yeah, I'm trying to double twirl through this. There is no world record because it is uncleared. Oh, there is a 50-second timer on this, though, so... I don't know how tight it is. And nobody knows how tight it is, I guess. World record is mine? No, only if we clear it. Which, given a timer, maybe a tall order. Okay, so I do need to hit the block, I think, and maybe that will give me an item that I need to get through all of that. We'll see, but clear implication that I should hit the question block, so... Oh, I see. Diagonal tracks indicate another triple jump. The second part of the triple jump hits the question block. I understand that now. It's going to be a triple jump where the question block is there to give you a ceiling. Yeah, because you get one jump, you twirl, second jump hits the question block, third jump gets you a triple jump over the blades on the left. So... yeah, that's what the 2 and 3 tracks are meant to signal. Need to hit this a little bit more accurately. Nope. Oh, I see. I am letting go of the jump button too soon after I twirl. That's partly just a muscle memory issue there. This level uses all the speedrunning lingo, I suppose so. Shows you how little I speedrun. Yeah, the reason I'm not quite holding a jump there is because I didn't want a totally full jump in order to get through this ceiling. But once I get through the ceiling, I do need to hold jump in order to land safely on the other side, I think. It is a bit of a tricky jump because of the way that ceiling works. Whoops. Yeah, spin jump as early as possible is going to be the way to do this. Yeah, too high. At least I do understand what's going on with the triple jump, though. I know what I'm supposed to do. You never play popular courses or endless? Yeah, neither do I. But you watched a lot of Rukar back in the day. I see. Yeah, I know he's mostly active on YouTube, and I don't really follow Mario Maker YouTube. Just for lack of time. So a lot of this I've just kind of learnt on the job, so to speak. I'm just kind of picking it up as I go. Yeah, I really do need to hold into that jump somehow. Nope. Accidentally did a spin jump for the first one, so we lost a triple jump there. I'm twirling too early, I think. A double twirl is fine. There's plenty of room to do that if I want to do so. Yeah, I guess a lot of this track notation for NSMB would have been established in Maker 1, given that Maker 1 already had this theme as the most elaborate speedrun-friendly theme when it comes to some of the advanced movement techniques that are possible here. Whoops. Slipped right off. Also, notice that there's a full bank of 10 pink coins in this level that probably need to grab everything. Yeah, I don't do a lot of the advanced platforming in this theme either when it comes to a lot of the twirl timing, and ground pound cancels in particular I find very difficult to do cleanly on a consistent and very time-sensitive basis, but definitely some of the twirl positioning. Here, it's still the ice after that thwomp that I'm getting into trouble with. Just knowing how to launch into this jump. It's a very difficult jump to position, just given all of the spike block placement all around. So not only do you need to get all 10 pink coins, but there is a clear condition and requirement for 2 10 coins, and we'll see how strict that is in terms of which locations I need to be reaching for, because currently, of course, we haven't seen any coins of any sort. Trying to get a second twirl there, didn't quite manage to spam that time. Yeah, I could not repeat the twirl quickly enough to do that. First twirl is cutting my height a little bit, at least, to get me through, but it's coming too early right now. And not getting me over to spikes on the left side. So we'll see. Oops, too early that time. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. I still can't quite tell if that's late or early. Nope. Need to, of course, do a normal jump there. Yeah, the positioning here takes a little bit of work on my part. I think I'm going too far to the left now. There is a particular block you need to hit for that to work. Mainly. Okay, here we go. Okay, missed the second jump. I need to land a little further to the right to hit the second jump the way I want, and that means only one twirl. Double twirl is going to send me too far to the left. But I do need to hold left the whole time through there, or the triple jump I think isn't going to go, so... 3 of your 75 or so real levels. Okay, fairly small proportion then. I didn't know you had 75 of them, that's a rather large number. I actually haven't published anything in this style in Maker 2 yet. But I only have a small number of levels since I take a very long time to make anything. I mean, I do have some ideas in this theme that are just in the form of technical tests in my editor, which haven't been finished yet. I'm twirling too early still, I think. I need one twirl, and it needs to be a late twirl. Otherwise, the positioning for the triple jump is going to be completely off. Okay, not quite there. And yeah, look at that. Shell just whacked that thwomp on the left. You enjoy making levels both good and bad. Yeah, have to get the bad ones out of your system to get to the good. I mean, the question is whether to publish those as well, I guess. But it could still be entertaining. Perhaps. Yeah, still twirling early, I think. But that jump is a difficult one to position. Mostly because of the way I'm getting off the ice. I just don't feel like I have a lot of control over that first jump to the left. Yeah, we'll spend a few more attempts on this. I would like to see if I can get past the second triple jump. But it is tricky. Nope, lost too much momentum there for some reason. You treat your worst levels like the McRib. And that is only temporarily available, or what? I've never had a McRib, so I don't exactly know how they're managed. Oops. I mean, I would assume the McRib only comes in boneless, unless I'm totally mistaken. Like I said, I've never had one, so... Yeah, I think it's specifically an American thing, depending on what's going on with McDonald's globally. Yeah, McDonald's has a lot of very region-specific dishes, though. I stopped at a McDonald's in Bangkok once, and they have fantastic fried chicken. And, you know, the sort of standard for fried chicken in Bangkok is very high as it is. And so the fact that the McDonald's chains over there can really deliver on that front is quite an accomplishment. It was clearly the best item on the menu. Whoops. But yeah, McDonald's internationally does a lot of very region-specific menu items. McDonald's is a variable quality. There are definitely things that are better than people give them credit for. But, okay. I don't know if I'm so much into nuggets, but that's just because I usually have lots of other alternative options when it comes to things involving fried chicken or battered chicken or breaded chicken. Thank you for the follow. Okay, let's try to get a clean attempt on this. I still haven't gotten the twirl going to the left to work out. Yeah, I just need to do a bit more of a controlled jump there. So that time I just let up on a jump slightly in the right location and did a nice late twirl where it was marked. R2900, I am closed for today, but I am going to be back with another open queue tomorrow in the same time slot. And yeah, Nugu Kaza, I'm including technical chicken. Let's not think too hard about what the nuggets are made of. Yeah, as far as temporary fast food menu items go, we recently had the Kentucky Fried Chicken Double Down back in rotation here. And I'd missed it the last few times that it was available because I think it's on a 3-year cycle or something. Okay. Let's try to get the... Whoops. I didn't manage to do this. Let's take a look at the clear check time, just to see how tight it is. Yeah, the thing about being in Europe in particular is that usually a lot of the more local fried chicken shops just give chains like KFC substantial competition. Like, you might as well just go to the local chicken and kebab place in some of the major European urban centers. Clear check time has a 3.5 second savings. And that's assuming you can actually get that triple jump down, though, and I apparently can't. How much time did I spend on this? I was on this for about 20 minutes, I think. And given the length of the queue, we'll probably just bypass this one, because I don't think I can get that second triple jump consistently enough. Or get the twirl leading up to the triple jump consistently enough. I had one attempt that was relatively close. But then after that, you stomp dry bones, you slide through the icicles, you wall jump up on the left side, and then things continue. Yeah. But thank you for that submission. We'll mark that as a loss. And yeah, big queue over here. So I guess Nugu Kaza is the only sub. Nugu Kaza, you're also in second position, so I'll just continue going next to see if Doge Doge Wow is here. We had a Doge Doge Wow level that we had been seeing recently that I was very close to first clear on, except I was timing out at the very end. So if we have Doge Doge Wow check-in, we'll see if we revisit that one. If we don't have a check-in, then we'll proceed to Nugu Kaza. I think they might have ditched, which is understandable, so we'll probably just continue to Nugu Kaza and go on from there. Understandably, we had some people abandon earlier, just given how long it was taking on the propeller level. So with no check-in, we will continue. And it's going to be GCQ ESB PDF. Okay, another demo. Let's take a look. Okay, same idea as before. Oh, whoops. Yeah, dead stop. I wonder how people will interpret the down arrows, actually. Because I see that you're doing this as an alternative to the semi-solids you had before. I guess semi-solids had a risk of being squished, right? Or... I don't know if you were correcting for anything else there. Yeah, because of course, having seen the opening concept, I know that I should just be going to a dead stop there. Oh, too much forward momentum. Yeah, I guess with some of those higher locations, I don't know how close I'll be to... Whoops, getting squished. I see. No, you want the player to point down because you want a hard cut onto people in momentum. I understand it now. That even if you don't spin all the way down, if you press down on a D-pad, you at least cut your movement. Like that. Yeah, yeah. That's the kind of P-balloon trickery that Nugu Kaza teaches. And yeah, it seems like I got it just as you were explaining that in chat, so... Yeah. I'd be concerned that some people might read that to mean you should just point all the way down and it would take your time to spin, but no, for me it's fairly clear it's momentum cut, and maybe people will pick that up in a very quick number of attempts. And yeah, I like the illumination from the arrows as well. I think that works well. So, thank you for that. And, yeah, quality humor from all the bloopers that you're spawning all over the place. And given that you're kind of hiding in the background here and there, it's surprisingly close to Splatoon. You are a favorite guy, haha. Let's see if you were here. Looks like this person also ditched. And so we'll do a quick removal and continue. Quality humor. Check out your TikTok in this clockwork level. And okay, let's do that. Looks kind of like Pac-Man in the thumbnail, just because the clock is pointed to the 3 o'clock position. 0.86 on this one. Let's see how we do. Okay. Clock goes up. Probably can't make this. Can get reasonably close. Oh, I can make it. Now, can I get back out? Maybe I can't get back out. Okay, we'll have to start over. Unless there's something to hit, but doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. That's fine. Now we know. I guess I couldn't get close enough to the spike ball to actually drop it off that claw. It is positioned in such a way that I am obstructed from it. Anyway, into the clock. Yeah, so I just cycle around, I think, until Oh, there's a block under Boom Boom, so I need to cycle around until I hit Boom Boom 3 times, I see. Probably a coin block. And let's be careful around those corners too, of course. Sounds like a chomp stump for the sound effects. Oh, whoops. Let's pay attention to the level here. Clear rate is lower than the actual difficulty. Yeah, I see, because people would have timeouts if you have multiple sections with the pink coins everywhere. Okay, let's be careful. Okay, and then, yeah, slide down. And then just pick our jumps very precisely. Nope. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm just running into the muncher. So I do need to check my position here and there. The time is actually decently relaxed on that fire bar. It's just that positioning the jumps can be a little fussy as we try to get back up. Whoops. Oh, why am I running into something there? Oh no, I'm just pulling back too quickly. Did I miss that hit? I think I did. Yeah, so this would just be the entry segment before multiple checkpoint setup. And we just need to watch the tile positioning everywhere. Yeah, weird hitbox on the spikes, well, as usual. Whoops. Well, you see, it's funny, because if people are making fun of you for putting the boss at the end of the level, maybe you should make the clock goes backwards, because then it's like you're going back in time through the level. It's just a regular Goomba that's being tossed at the beginning, I think. I wasn't even paying attention to it until now, but then, yeah, it totally freezes it in a position right next to the clock. Oh, whoops. Not the second hit, but just got sniped by the muncher, and then we would need to make it down after that to the key door in the 6 o'clock position. You don't need to spoil something if you are wary of doing so, but I'll leave that judgment up to you. Ah, so the clocks in the subworld actually do go the wrong way. Whoops. Yeah, because if you're inside the clock and you're looking at it from within, then that would make sense. Whoops. Still need to pull back on that jump. Surprisingly easy to hit that muncher. Whoops. Didn't mean to go left there. Okay. I saw a clock level a few months ago, actually at the very beginning of Daylight Savings, and I remember it, well, because it was a clock level, but also because the concept of that level that somebody showed me was using a deliberate lag machine to create the effect of time being warped. And hopefully Nintendo hasn't deleted it, because it seems like the sort of thing they would stomp on. Whoops. But yeah, no, I was just thinking of that because I remember receiving that right as Daylight Savings was starting back in March or whenever, and so it's very timely to receive this clock level now. that the time changes, reverting out of summertime in Europe. Very much in season. Much more so than anything pertaining to Halloween. There we go. And yeah, Nukukaza, it's a P-Balloon level, you certainly know it. This here... Okay, it doesn't actually allow you to... No, it should allow you to enter. I don't know why. It should totally allow you to enter. Yeah, there we go. Ah, but it tells you in advance that it's going to be note blocks, and that's... That is facing the moon. It's not backwards as advertised, though, is it? Oh, because we're not in the subworld. I see. Okay, let's go quickly. Oops. Poor reversal there. And yeah, quality humor, how very well planned of you. I'm at the same time looking at the, whoops, circle on the right as well, because it seems to be indicating the time. And I don't know why that would matter, except as something aesthetic. Whoops. Okay, let's go. Nope. Still getting a bit trapped there. But yeah, getting off the first note block will work just fine. Hello Kitty clock. Which Hello Kitty clock? Let's see if I'd be able to pick up on that. Okay. Nope. Yeah, getting bounced a little too much there. I should avoid the bounces as I'm going back down. Nope, miss. Oh well, final occasion to practice this bit then. So yeah, it's possible to go back and forth. I just need to... Whoops. Get back out, and probably I have another checkpoint that I can save at, right? If it is a recyclable error. Right, because you can just cycle through these. With the safety coin on top of the key door at the end, which... Yeah, I guess the first key door just pops me through here, so that's now inaccessible. Oh, that's going to impose a time constraint. Yeah, so you do need to jump through the booze at some point. You can't just stall indefinitely, I think. Or at least catch everything on the first cycle. Nope, not like that. Probably just catch it on the first cycle. Let's see. Yeah, they are winged. They do move pretty quickly. Nope, don't want to stand there. Maybe I can wait out the cycle if I am quick afterwards. Yeah, totally can. Nope. Almost did that, except I just missed a door. Somebody did recently submit a clock level for Team P-Balloon, and if you find it impossible, it must really be something. Whoops, didn't manage to jump through that gap. But yeah, it's going to be the correct tactic here. where I wait for the boost cycle on the right side, but then I jump through the loop on the left side. Just with slightly better timing. There we go. You think this clock has caused the most problems? Interesting. I didn't think so. Also, I guess the pipes on this side are inaccessible unless there's some kind of massive spike ball scroll break or something that cuts through them, right? I don't think we'll need them. We have 4 doors accounting for the other 4 coins. Sound problems? Yeah, we'll fix that up quickly. So you can hear the clock ticking properly. It's not the same level without that. Okay, sound should be back. What is that mysterious ticking noise? We have 2 coins. Okay, no, I have 4 coins unaccounted for. Which means that we have the safety coin, we have these 3, and then I'm also missing 1 additional entrance. Let me just check this. Possibly there's some other coin unseen that I just don't know about yet. That's okay, we'll do the other doors and we'll worry about that afterwards. Oh, it totally is anti-clockwise. And the munchers are going to take up a massive entity budget to indicate the time. Well, whoever made that P-Balloon level you're talking about must also be quite the P-Balloon pro. Yeah, Munchers for the precision clock, because Muncher hitboxes are just going to behave like that. I see, so you just need to fall decently on the second half there. That's understandable. Not quite. They're really good at Space Balloon, I see. Oh, Space Balloon as in low gravity, or? Yeah, just need to pull back a little bit there, and then... Oh, you know what? There's a semi-solid I can fall on that should be safe. I don't need to fall all the way down. Yeah, Night Sky, that's what I meant. I don't want to just fall off that corner, of course. I want to do a bit of a jump. It's so strange how the hitboxes work on the spikes relative to the semi-solid, where they hit you not while you're on top, but when you're falling off the edge. Very strange overlap rule. Very unfortunate when you do run into it. Mario Man, I am closed for the time being. I can't run a very long stream today, so... We are back with viewer levels again tomorrow, though, if you wish to drop by. Yeah, fair warning, going into November and December, I may switch to just doing 1 viewer stream per week instead of 2. I haven't quite decided what the schedule change will be yet, so this is not final, but I am looking at potentially having to cut 1 day. Oh, almost there. But yeah, this week we'll be doing 2 viewer streams as usual, and probably next weekend as well, although I'm not absolutely certain yet. I have to make sure I don't have a scheduling conflict then. The ticking of the clock actually does give you a decent jumping rhythm to follow. Not that I'm following it. Nope. Oh, we almost made it that one time, just missed the final jump down to the door. It's not too punishing for something that is a precision clock. Really not too bad. Nope. Not quite. Yeah, if I fix up that last jump through that corner, then that will pretty much solve this room. I don't envy doing clear checks for something like this. With getting all of the segments down correctly. I mean, I guess for the purposes of a clear check, you'd probably want to do the most challenging one first. Just to get any consistency issues out of the way. But of course, the fact that it is a multi-checkpoint level does mean that you have to clear check all segments 3 times, wouldn't you? Took you a while to clear check this one? Yeah, well, for a sort of multi-part level, even if it is kind of precision light, it still takes some very clean playing. Whoops. But yeah, the clock aesthetic definitely makes it much more visually appealing than most levels in this style. I mean, the clock, of course, is the central mechanic, but the fact that you have a bit of additional visual context for each room, I think, definitely helps a bit, just to keep things looking appealing. I think one of the issues that most precision style levels run into is that just because of the spikes everywhere, they are ugly as sin. So it's a bit of an accomplishment just to make something that is visually well contextualized. Oh, definitely something we can appreciate. Whoops. This level started as a joke, but you're happy it didn't work out. As in, it wasn't quality humor? Okay, let's grab the checkpoint, just in case. Oh, one-way panel check. Okay, no, we can do it. Just took me a moment to read it. Whoops. Need to get the early jumps down accurately, though. Oh, whoops, wrong door. On second thought, let's get back out. Luckily we can just get back out instantly. No, just got trapped. Yeah, I can't behave too impulsively here. I do need to formulate a plan. It looks like the timing is actually not too punishing here. It's just a matter of not getting stuck in too many locations from rethinking certain jumps. Oh, maybe this is going to be tough. We'll see. Yeah, I find just the visual design of one-way panels does throw me off sometimes. In terms of understanding what's safe. Oh, whoops. we just need to not get into that location. Nope. Just cut that jump a little bit too short. If I made that jump, that would be it for this room. Yeah, I do like how this room is signified by the one-way panel under the door as well. Always nice to have a bit of a memory aid for these multi-checkpoints ideas. Just so it's very clear what you're dealing with if you don't remember which rooms have not been completed. The one-way room was the first one you did when uploading. Okay. So this was the one that you might have considered the biggest threat then. Oops. Yeah, the jump height here, I need to tune a little bit better. Nope. Cutting that jump a little too closely. Nope. Wrong door. Nope. You would think that doing a precise 3-tile jump would not be that difficult, but I do have trouble entering 1-tile slots like that all the time, so maybe this is a familiar problem. The door placement shows you if you spawn on top or bottom. Does it really? Oh, I see. Okay. Given the vertical positioning, yeah. That's not a big spoiler. I might not even have noticed. Let's grab the checkpoint. Just in case. Ah, this one has 2 coins. Okay, that explains it. Interesting question blocks on the side here. Yeah, and it spawns you kind of in the middle position. That's why the middle positioning of that door, vertically speaking, aligns just right. Right, and the main constraint here is going to be, of course, the big central fire bar sweeping its way over. I think I know how to fix my current pattern. Once I get the first jump down, of course. Yeah, once I'm down at the bottom, I need to get ahead of that little fire bar down low and probably approach second coin from the right side as well. No, never mind. Got it. Never did manage to check all of the question blocks, of course. Anyway, let's get out. And that is Fireflower. Obviously, I'm going to check this stuff. Morpha got a key death. Okay, so we'll... Oh, I see. Might have gotten squished under a stump, perhaps, or done something else like that. Oh, whoops. Actually managed to hit that. I was hoping to hit that section a bit more to see if I could get on top of the clouds, but... Well, like clockwork. Actually managed to get that in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, just thumbnail at the end. Okay, so no additional bonus or anything at the end. It's just everything built in the half-screen layout to keep it under control, with the sound effects coming from off-screen horizontally, as you can see with those sections beyond a scroll break that are within spawning range of each room. So, yeah, thank you for that. Fun submission. Okay, we'll see who's actually remaining. And just check everybody one at a time, and then we'll probably wind down from there. So Zigzy, I believe, is still present in the chat, but Zigzy, please check in. Yeah, great. Let's do another one. Once again, lots of levels to choose from. For some reason, you didn't want me to do the recent boss battles, so we can pick something else. Possibly something a bit more substantial than the refreshing level this time. So you wanted me to skip the bosses for some reason. But we can look at something else. I mean, this is also a boss battle, apparently. But, oh, you wanted anything older than the refreshing level, right? If I... Correct. I can play Bowser's Castle. Okay, we can take a look at that. Let me see where it was on the list. Bowser's New Castle, or is there an older Bowser's Castle that you want me to look at? If not, then I'll take Bowser's New Castle. Yeah, okay. Bowser's New Castle upon Tyne. Bowser has returned, as you know. Well, we'll probably need to dodge some fire when we get to it then. Whoops, my mistake. I was hoping to jump on top of the dry bones and hop over, just to be stylish, but that was clearly a bit too ambitious. Okay, Fire Flower. That went fairly smoothly. And you can totally get on top of this. I'm gonna have to play a bit more cleanly here, though. And then, on-off switch, oops. Shouldn't have just slipped off without seeing where my feet were going. Since the summer, you've had a clock level, a raft, a wave, an elevator, and a jump rope trademark. And now you are all out of ideas. Well, I mean, I haven't really played most of those, so plenty of time to just witness some playing while I get caught up in those myself. Clearly, you need to slap the bomb over to the right here. Now, I don't know if the on-off state will matter past this point, but if not, we'll just pick this up. I'll probably just... Oh, interesting. Whoops. I'm trying to see if there was a way I could get up top. I guess we can probably just take this guy. The implication is that I should take it. And hopefully not lose it. However, there is a pipe here that we can probably go into. Assuming I don't die to Bowser Fire. Ah, 50 coins. So we will need to get back to the trampoline and grab it one more time. Easy to do that, thankfully. And probably no particular reason to smuggle that across. Okay, here's a checkpoint, and here's Bowser. Well, standard Bowser axe, of course. We'll see if getting through here with the P-switch still active does anything for me. Okay, Fire Flower, and then I suppose I just spam from here. Whoops. And of course, Bowser does have collision in this theme, so we need to be careful with that. Dropping the Fire Flower actually works just fine. And I'll just smoke him from a distance over here. and just pelt him to death from here. Not much else we can do with him. Yeah, he's going to be a little bit constrained in terms of jumping around, which is fine by me. Okay, then we go through here. Here's another one. We'll just ignore him. And drop him out as usual. Okay, worked out fairly well. Yeah, sometimes Fireflower and Bowser fights can get a bit spammy, but I do like that you kind of need to get yourself out of a tight situation if you get hit and, you know, just keep Bowser positioned and reobtain the Fireflower and earn it if necessary, instead of just sitting on the respawn point, so. And the platforming up to that point was pretty neat as well. I think it worked out well. It's a pretty clean, traditional level. Mark that as a win. Your Raft level is named after my favorite 80s band. I don't know that I have a favorite 80s band. I'm not really that keen on 80s music. But maybe you're correct about that, so who knows? Alright, let's check to see if anybody remaining on the list is also here, beginning with Aaron, who I think was put off by the scale of the queue and left fairly early. So just going to see if Aaron's going to check in. And I don't believe he is online, so after that we'll check for Deet, and then we'll check for Pone. Deet, I believe, is also not listed in chat, so we'll just do a quick check for that. Then we'll check for Pone25. And we may actually finish the stream at a reasonable time today. Knowing it is a Raft level, maybe I can guess the band. Huh. We'll have to think about that. And yeah, we'll just let Deet check in if possible. If Deet's not here, we'll go straight to Pone, who is present. Okay, let's remove, and then Pone25 will be our closer today. Yeah, usually I aim to run the stream to somewhere between the 3 and 4 hour mark, but then very often for viewer levels it runs up the way to 5 hours or so, which I cannot do today, so. As the last level in the queue though, I can probably spend a relaxed amount of time on it. So we'll something interesting. And you seem confident in their greatness. I see that you have one super world with 4 courses. We'll pick something perhaps that's not in the super world, if that applies to anything. But I mean, you can also just recommend something if there's something that you're particularly proud of that you would like to show me. We can do any of these. Twisted Twilight Towers. Okay, longish level actually, about 4%. We might do this one. Although first clear is available for this one. Halloween level, yeah, let's do... Oh, Twisted Twilight Towers is the Halloween level. We can also go for first clear for this, just to see whether I'm able to do it, given that you just uploaded it. There's a sequel, though. So... let's go for first clear. This electrifying sequel to your thrilling speedrun will leave me shocked. And yeah, I know we're kind of skipping ahead to number 2 without having done number 1. I normally wouldn't, except for the fact that we... well, first of all, I was just seeing if the bomb demolition there was doing anything interesting. Like if there's a spawn block there later, who knows? No, it's just on a track, so... Okay, fairly relaxed timer on this. Oh, I see. I have to hit the on-off and then get over that. This is a third re-upload of this level, I see. Well, we'll go for it anyway. So yeah, hit the on-off switch and go back and beat that. So yeah, the line tells me that I cannot drop down below. This gets me to hat. This gets me damage, and then I am too slow. I see. So there's a 500-second timer because the speed constraint is per segment, which is going to allow me to take some downtime in between if needed. But now I have read this and I know how it's going to go, so I'll take it. And yeah, 4 blocks to go in the bottom row, that's plenty of time. Semi-solids, we can probably get some crisper jumps there. A little bit too slow. Luigi the Real Deal, welcome. Hope you've been doing well. I am closed for today, unfortunately. This is the last level I'm doing. But, oh, whoops, that's going to be death. Yeah, first segment I understand. Second segment, I needed to cut some of the jumps over the semi-solids. But yeah, Luigi the Real Deal, as usual, I will be back for more viewer levels tomorrow. If you want to get something in queue. Whoops, missed the spring. Well, it's not just a flashy level. Like, I think it has plenty of interactions that the player needs to engage with actively in terms of thinking about what to do. So it's not like you're just following a coin trail the whole time or something. We actually have to interact with mechanics. And the slopes. And the layout in general. Okay. Nope, just slightly too slow because... Actually, no, I got hit by the bomb explosion. Yeah, so... Slightly too slow. I'll probably rethink that vine, in fact, in terms of... I'm getting over it. Oh, lost a little bit of time by one bomb there. Need to cut a lot of my jumps. Oh no, too high, that jump. I can't go up directly. I do need to do short jumps above the semi-solids. As short as I can. Okay, up we go. Oh, whoops. Oh, okay, no, that was an accidental diagonal. Where I climbed a vine. It's not really pixel perfect. I mean, you have to be pretty crisp on the second segment, but the first segment actually has a fair bit of leeway. Like, I don't think it's tight. Whoops. Yeah, I thought the vine there was probably just a bit of a trap just to make sure I'm hitting my D-pad cleanly. That's okay, it's not really in the way. I'm using a good D-pad, it's just that sometimes when I'm doing things quickly, I do make mistakes. Oh, bumped my head there. Yeah, I bumped my head right before the vine at the end, and so that was one too many jumps. I needed to play that a little bit more cleanly. 6 segments in total, okay. Whoops. Yeah, kind of nice to see a multi-segment idea like this. Just so you can reset the speed constraint in every section and have everything kind of tightly tuned around the bomb timings. And of course, the central mechanic of the whole platform underneath being demolished as you go. Okay. Nice tight jumps over here. Let's not bump my head. There we go. Skewer is going to break the block, and then what? Donut block over there. Oh, I see. So eventually that's just going to get destroyed some other way. Oh, because of the skewer just punching its way through. Yes, I see. Interesting little point of tension there as the player wonders how you're setting things up and what's about to happen. Oh, nice usage of the Mecha Koopa to do something analogous to the bombs in the last section in terms of the time constraint. No, I needed... yeah, that actually was correct. I just misunderstood. You hit the shell immediately, it will collect both the coin and hit the on-off switch. Yeah, the skewer at the checkpoint is a pretty neat idea. Okay, we'll circle around. Nope, just missed that jump. Because of this corner over here. So that's going to be death, but we'll take that and try to redo this room. Five pink coins, as you can see. I assume that's just for a specific segment later on where you need to hit certain points accurately. Yeah, with holding up into that, as you could see, I was slightly too slow. And the timer there is going to be based on the activation of the mecha. A couple things I can do a little more cleanly, perhaps. As I get through this segment, yeah. A lot more time that time around. And that's where the pink coins come into play. Yeah, I can't slow down on that slope on the way back out. I do need to jump, I think. And yeah, Luigi the Real Deal, this is a fun one. For sure. Okay. That went pretty cleanly. Even better than before, I think. Nope, oh whoops, just totally missed that jump. But yeah, I need to jump out instead of getting slowed down by the slope, for sure. That's going to be a pretty necessary adjustment. At the very end, I think. Up we go. It bounces me back, but then I need to cut momentum again to get back to the right. Yeah, after that spring deflection, I don't quite know what's going on yet, but we'll try to make it happen. Nope, too slow. Just bumped my head on the ceiling, and that was enough to slow me down just a little too much. Okay, hit this. Yeah, what's getting to me... ceiling hits with a jump scare in the final segment of that area. So yeah, a couple of things I can be doing a little bit more cleanly. But we've done it before, so not too worried about this section. Prequel to Mario Odyssey. Is this going to be quality humor, or is it something else going on? Ah, they're calling it Mario Iliad. I approve. That was a real Trojan horse attack of a joke. Which, oddly enough, does not feature in the Iliad or the Odyssey. It happens in between. For something that is so well known. Oh. Yeah, I really do need to rethink how to get back on track after that trampoline bounce. Probably would have jumped, but I'm trying to think about how to place to jump. Probably before I even get off that slope. That's okay, we'll learn it as we go, and I'll figure it out after a few attempts. I'm sure. I would be totally up for Mario Iliad. Just hold right, okay. Ah, okay, that works. Yeah, I'm just so accustomed to levels where I guess I deflect at maximum speed that I had some habits to cut that section. We have a couple of regular submitters here who send me very bouncy or springy levels. We're getting full speed around the turnarounds is a bit of a standard expectation, so even if I wasn't trying to do that, I think there was a bit of muscle memory there that was getting me into trouble. Like through that, yeah, that section there, for instance, would need it. Okay, too slow through here. But then you can bounce quickly by reversing through either of those, and then you get back down to the door, so that will be fine. How do you make a prequel to a Mario game? Well, I mean, Mario Maker is obviously a prequel to Wrecking Crew. There's definitely an implicit continuity here. Okay. Surprisingly relaxed. This bit over here. Okay, just need to pull back a bit on that jump. The tracks do in fact give you a very clear warning about that. And up we go. Okay, making good time there that time. And making good time there too. Lots of room to go. Here's a checkpoint. That's going to be another checkpoint cutscene. Yeah, I like that you've actually had the entities left over and the camera positioning to make these little checkpoint cutscenes work. They do add quite a bit to the level. Now here is another stay above the line section, likely requiring good use of the Tanuki leaf. Also see that the blaster is obstructed for that, whoops, respawn at the checkpoint. The blaster does not spawn at all, given some kind of spawn block trickery that's been done over here. That makes the section differ when you have not cleared whatever's below it, so. Okay, fairly relaxed timing over here with the leaf. Just a little too late. I mean, I did slow down in several segments. I think it's a very relaxed timing here, just to give the player plenty of time to read what to do with the Tanuki leaf. Well, whoops, totally miss I slowed down a little too much around certain corners, but it seems that with the segments coming in pairs, that the first one in a pair is generally pretty relaxed. From what we've seen so far from segments 1, 3, and 5. Whoops. Needed to get a better jump going into that descent, of course. And yeah, the lenience, I think, is a good call here. Just because you do have to tap with a Tanuki Leaf, and, you know, that's something that could potentially slow you down when you position to jump, and also mentally switch gears for all of the tail whipping that's going to go on. I think I just neglected to hit that block on certain earlier attempts. Whoops, slid into that too quickly. I was hoping to whip it, but I just triggered it too late. Yeah, we're gonna whip it good. Whoops. No, we're not. I'm going to totally miss, in fact. Okay. Whoa, okay. I see. I'm pulling back too soon, I think, when I try to dash back out after the whip. That the animation is not completing by the time I exited. I am hitting the tail whip button first, but if you back away from the question block too soon, it doesn't make contact. That's another reason why you'd want to be lenient with this kind of idea, because you do need to stall slightly and wait for the whip to complete. Yeah, it is a strange interaction I don't see very often, because how often are you going to whip something while having to back away from it at a time-sensitive moment? Well, specifically in this kind of level, I guess, but not something that a player would necessarily be familiar with until they've failed at it a few times. Nope, yeah, once again, just missing. Backing away too quickly. Yeah, because the animation looks like it should be within range, right? And so it is a little bit misleading from a visual perspective. Just need to give it a moment to register, and then you pull away. Nope, and then I need to turn around over there, and then I have plenty of time to spare here. It's just that I need to read the last bit accurately. Okay, down we go. Nope, just missed a whip. Sliding it a little bit close, even though I knew exactly what was coming. Nope, just missed a second whip. Yeah, the repetition, I think, is throwing me off. That I'm trying to repeat the tail whip a little too soon, given that spacing. I do need to stall just a little bit to be totally confident that the strike is going to make contact. Here we go. Nice and clean. And nope, just poor positioning on that jump. Coming off the edge. I should actually probably just walk off the edge instead of jumping, because the diagonal positioning going down is, first of all, not at the angle I want, and secondly, just going too slowly. So walking off the edge slowly should probably do the trick, but we'll go back there and see if we can make that work. Surprisingly content-packed level, considering how many entities you do have to spend on getting things like the bomb setups to work, but then I guess you're spawning most things out of blocks. And having that amount of stuff spawn out of blocks is going to save the budget pretty considerably. And yeah, plenty of time to spare on that run. But now we have to do a big finish. Oh, missed a block. That's probably going to get me into trouble. But I can't see why just yet. Yeah, probably needed to get me through there with some other spawn of fire from one of the jump blocks up above that needed to be triggered. So yeah, I do see what the question block I missed was supposed to do for me, I think. But yeah, really good budget management on this, especially Quality Humor, as I said before, with having room left over to do the checkpoint cutscenes. Okay. We'll walk off. And yeah, the activation of the on-off is very quick and snappy too, despite the distance between their activation and block spawn. Also, dodging the fire here is very, I was about to say very reliable, but I got sniped because I had backed off a little bit. It's clearly meant to be clean when you actually move smoothly through there. Like, I could tell before I got hit by fire there that I was going to get hit by fire. And I was pretty confident otherwise that I was going to be safe. Which is, I think, a difficult trick to pull, given that you're expecting something very specific of the player's position, just to make that survivable. Final room has 65 fireballs. Yeah, that's a lot to work with here. And nope, yeah, that's the block I'm continually missing. Can't believe I'm still alive, but of course I'm going to be dead now, so. And there was one ice block at the back that had not been destroyed. Probably because the triggering order and timing for the question blocks was wrong. The timing for the fireballs in that room took several days to line everything up perfectly. Yeah, I would assume that that was a room that was very sensitive to playtesting as well, in terms of people having different movement habits that could potentially get them in trouble if you weren't just lenient enough. Okay. Yeah, because it takes some work, I think, to make it look threatening without actually being threatening. Slowed down a bit too much in that position. Whoops. Yeah, I overshot the middle question block again. I do need to hit that at full speed. And that's been the major missing piece here. Okay, whoops, missed that jump. I should still be able to make it. Or not. Yes, I can. Okay, let's go up and, yep, got it. Accurately that time. I guess you have to account for whether or not a player is going to walk through the slopes as well, or jump over them to save time. Is it the same shell that hits every on-off? Yeah, it looked like it, I think. I was only kind of halfway paying attention to that, but yeah, I see what you mean. Hence the requirement to hit every question block in sequence. Very easily readable, actually, considering how much is going on. make us very clear what to do, and also how I've failed when I missed the question blocks like I've done. Again, so as you can see, it's consistently going to just not get through here because I haven't activated the correct mechanism to get everything done, so. And yeah, there's a lot going on in this level. I agree that you can really appreciate as a maker in terms of the thought that was put into making it work. And okay, let's go. Yeah, looking forward to eventually returning to the first level with this concept as well. Okay, slow it down a little bit on that slope. But we'll through here. Okay, so that's interesting that they hit the question block, but the question block hit the spike ball and the spike ball broke before it hit the note blocks at the end. So I think that actually means... I don't know if I was too quick or too slow, but I believe I was too slow. Because I would have needed to hit that block before the spike ball gets over there. So the timing of that is actually very intricate as well, in that any later and I just don't make it to the bridge. But I was basically right at the edge of the window that would allow me to get through that. Okay, let's not get slowed down by too many slopes. Ah, missed the block again. So. Yeah, just slightly too slow. I was thinking about that and I could tell. Yeah, because when you hit that block, you're supposed to break the ice, and then the spike ball gets squirted through safely. And then... Actually, no, I think the ice melted separately, but then you do need to not break the spike ball, obviously. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole challenge here, is just not missing the blocks. Partly because, you know, there's a lot of pressure, obviously, to go full speed ahead, and balancing against the accuracy of hitting single question blocks is going to be the main challenge for the player here. You know, just understanding that you cannot let up on the speed if you want to be confident about completing this. I mean, it still feels reasonably lenient. It's just that you can't completely blow it and redo an entire hit like I've been doing. Too slow. Yeah, no, because you're supposed to send the fire up there to melt the ice, and that's the only way that the spike block is able to get through without crashing. And then... there we are. Whoops. And Dennis Sam Crow, welcome. Yeah, Quality Humor, I assume that we've just gone back in time from when you made the clock level. Not a single spike to be seen. Dennis M. Crow, this is the last level that I'm playing today. The queue is already closed, but I am going to be back with more viewer levels during the same time slot tomorrow. So, can't take a day, unfortunately, because I'm logging off after I finish this one. But hopefully we'll see your creation soon enough. Still too slow. Yeah, Spike Ball goes over, Spike Ball hits the two note blocks that will melt the rest of the ice leading up to the bridge, and then we finish. And yeah, thanks for dropping by anyway. Good to see you here. We'll catch you next time. Okay. I keep doing mini turnbacks. Yeah, I can see that's a bit of a bad habit as well, that I'm slowing down a bit going into each of the jumps instead of actually doing them accurately. And that is killing a little too much momentum. In fact, that was immediately fixed. Okay, there we go. I probably should have just gone straight for the axe, in spite of the fact that having respawned from checkpoint, we were not going to set any kind of speed record that holds. Oh, that's okay. We'll just take the one up in Fire Flower and get out of here the stylish way. Thank you so much for making First Clear available, even if this was a re-upload. Hopefully this sticks. But a great way to close with this level by Pwn25, and yeah, we will definitely, at some point, do not only the first one, but hopefully some of the other levels as well, if you're able to come and catch me again. Yeah, great work on that one for all of the reasons that we've already talked about. I died a lot to this. I feel like the clear rate will probably go up from here. It's fairly lenient. I don't feel like it's a 1% level. I feel like it's going to wind up higher. So. And luckily we didn't break anything, as far as I know. Things seemed to work. Not that I was testing it very thoroughly, but things did seem to function, so. The timing in the last segment in particular worked out very well. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for joining me, everybody, and especially for the submissions from all the makers who came by today. And that's going to be it for this one. So we'll send you on to another stream. Likely somebody else with an open queue if anybody really interesting is on. And apart from that, we'll be back with viewer levels tomorrow in a similar time, although for those of you in Europe, because of the time change, it will be a little bit ahead. Otherwise, have a great Halloween weekend, and we'll send you on to somebody interesting quickly. So, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the levels. Thanks for watching, and as always, fare thee well.